When Harry Met Sally is one of those classic movies that are often referenced, but you never really watch them. You just nod and say, oh yeah, that classic movie that's supposed to be really good because everyone says it's good. But you wonder if it's dated and you never really get around to actually watching it. So a little backstory. I was on Virgin Airlines and it's awesome. It had such a modern, up-to-date movie selection, but the problem with modern movies is I've watched a lot of them. So one of the only ones that I hadn't seen was When Harry Met Sally. My plan was to just check it out for a few minutes, see what all the hoopla was about, and then rewatch Logan because I felt like sobbing next to a complete stranger would just make my flight better. And I started, and I couldn't stop watching. I didn't really know anything about this film other than Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan were in it. And honestly, Meg Ryan, I understand she's cute and charismatic. Billy Crystal is a really funny guy, but I never really understood how a girl like Meg Ryan would end up with a guy like Billy Crystal. And in the very first scene, I understood. He's a funny guy, he's kind of an asshole with a good heart. Now, that is the key, I think. You have to be cocky, maybe even a bit annoying, but he's funny, he's sharp, and ultimately he means well. So it makes sense how fresh in her prime Meg Ryan could be attracted to him. I'm not happy about it, but I accept it. This movie is sharp. The dialogue between the two characters does so many things because this movie is pure dialogue, yet it never feels boring and it's always driving the story forward. It's able to do this because the screenwriter Nora Ephron has a very clear theme she wants to debate. Can a man and a woman be just friends? And this whole time, Harry, played by Billy Crystal, believes this is not possible. A man can not just be friends with a woman. A part of him will always want to get in her pants. That's what he thinks. Sally, Meg Ryan, believes he's talking out of his ass. Of course, a man and a woman can be just friends. It's offensive to say otherwise. We are introduced to these characters when they are forced on an awkward road trip to New York, and while on this drive, they battle back and forth, with Harry being his kind of crude and witty self, and Meg Ryan giving him those looks of indignation she's so good at. We meet them again 5 years later, they talk some more, each having matured, they're dealing with their own problems. Their views are not exactly the same as they were. Stuff happens and they bump into each other again 5 years later. It's almost like destiny, or the screenwriter is forcing them together time and time again through the years to continue discussing this issue of can man and woman be friends. And it's fascinating to see what they think throughout the years at different points in their lives. There are no big plot moments where someone gets fired or someone dies or when we catch someone cheating with another person. There is just conversations, and I really thought it would be boring, but it is so refreshing. I felt like my brain wasn't just melting into the tropes and the story beats that are identical in so many rom-coms. This is actually a carefully crafted conversation with a point, with a message. It's not just to drive our characters to the climactic conclusion where they finally realize they love each other. Okay, that might still happen, but the journey there is much more real and nuanced than what we see nowadays. It's really hard to write an essay about a movie that's essentially an essay. You should really see it. Billy Crystal, I get it now. I'm not attracted to you personally, but I totally understand anyone who is. Meg Ryan, you are much cuter than I remember, and I am still very much attracted to you. Yeah, it's great. I know I keep saying this film is like an essay, but it doesn't feel like a lecture. The most important thing about this movie is that it is kind of a stereotypical rom-com, but it's done so well. You want them so badly to end up together because they are able to have such honest and smart conversations because of the way they get along. You might also even recognize this relationship as the type of relationship you have with some of your closest friends and the back and forth banter. I give When Harry Met Sally an A+. It really is just as good as everyone says it is. Thank you all so much for watching. I will have a lot more video reviews of hidden gems and films that I think are worth talking about. What did you think of this film if you've seen it? Are there any other films you want me to check out? Thank you guys again, and I'll see you all next time.